Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, coming back at you with another Mill Creek review. This is for the compilation DVD of No-Tell Motel. This is an 8-movie collection, and these are the films that it has on it. It has Vacancy, Identity, Hostel, the director's cut, Hostel Part 2, the director's cut, Terror at Red Wolf Inn, It Happened at Nightmare Inn, The Devil's Nightmare, and Legacy of Blood. Now, let me open this for you guys. I have to take the digital code out. This comes with a digital code, but the digital code is only for the 4 movies in red down here. Terror at Red Wolf Inn, It Happened at Nightmare Inn, The Devil's Nightmare, and Legacy of Blood. The rest of the movies are on a separate disc, and there is no digital code for those. But those are pretty much widely available. So instead of it being stacker discs, which I'm not really a big fan of, this one is 2 separate discs on a flipper. So that's pretty nice. Here's the presentation of the 2 discs. Very nice from Mill Creek. Now, in checking all these out, Vacancy, Identity, Hostel, the director's cut, and Hostel Part 2, the director's cut, are fantastic transfers. All fantastic. All on the same disc. And there's really, they're all bare bones, there's really no special features, but it's an interesting set because it's all about hotels and hostels. And I thought it was interesting that they were able to put all these films together. Now, this is the big thing. The last 4 movies, what are the transfers like? Well, I'm going to tell you. Now, Terror at Red Wolf Inn is not bad. I watched it. It was a first-time watch for me. And the transfer was actually pretty darn good for an older film. Generally speaking, most people who have multi-packs, you pretty much know the deal as far as the transfers. I thought this was one of the better ones I've seen. It Happened at Nightmare Inn is about the same as Terror at Red Wolf Inn. The transfer is a little washed out, but for it being such an old film, I thought it looked pretty darn good. Now, The Devil's Nightmare, its transfer was a little bit better than Terror at Red Wolf Inn and It Happened at Nightmare Inn, but the colors are still a little washed out on it. Still not bad, though. I mean, it's better than the first 2. That one, of course, is rated R. And the one that I was really looking forward to, Legacy of Blood, I have seen this film before. I think I watched it off of Comet years ago. I got it as part of a Fear Itself horror tin, but all of the films in that are edited, so it's basically no use to me. And why I say that, it has a movie that I've been looking for a long time called Death Screams, and it's heavily edited, and it basically makes no sense because a lot of it's cut. So this was the big one I was looking forward to, Legacy of Blood. Now, unfortunately, the transfer for this is not that great. I wasn't really all that impressed. The colors are really, I mean, it's not unwatchable, don't get me wrong. It's not unwatchable. I've seen a lot worse, but this is a really, really rough cut of this film. And the dialogue is kind of muffled. It's just a really, really bad transfer. But that may be all that's available of this film. I don't really see people putting this out. Legacy of Blood, basic synopsis is a guy dies and his children are at the will ceremony where they say who gets what and all that, and it's basically a whodunit and who can get rid of who for the will. So it's an okay movie. It's not bad. It's just, I wish the copy was a little bit better because this is the one I was looking forward to the most. It has bonus feature, which is includes digital access to 4 films on Movie Spree, which is the 4 movies on the bottom. But yeah, that's about it. Now, this is a really good set. Like I said, the first 4 movies are incredible. Their transfers are incredible. They're done really well. I actually have the movie Identity, and I put them both in and watched them, and it's basically identical to the original release, except for it doesn't have special features. Like I said, these are all bare bones. But yeah, definitely check this one out. I probably look for this to be in the dump in. That's where they throw most of the compilations after a while. It usually goes for Walmart around $10 when they first come out. So, and then, like I said, it does come with the digital code for the bottom. And yeah, this is a really nice set. Definitely a nice set. So if you like Vacancy, Identity, Hostel, and Hostel Part 2, then grab it. If you're into watching a few movies that you may not know about, grab it as well. But just bear in mind that Legacy of Blood, the transfer is really rough, but I've seen several transfers of the film, and none of them look great. So, yeah. So I wanted to thank Mill Creek for sending me this so that I could do a review for you guys. They have a great company, and they're really, really stepping up their game. The last one I did was the Hostel Part 1 and Part 2 Blu-ray, and it just looked immaculate. So I'm going to put their links in the description box below. Definitely check them out. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.